Are you ready for the fourth installment of Śrīla Prabhupāda's Essential Instructions on Chanting? One person here.
Yes,
Okay,
Maharaj.
that's 3 then altogether. I'll tell you if you can tell me the essence of the first 3. Day 1, correct. Forced meditation. Day 2, perfect. Day 3, the way I have it, everything will be revealed one after another. And today is entitled The Best Remedy. Maybe, can you come closer? Seems like you're a universe away. Okay. This is a letter that Prabhupada wrote to Mohanananda in February 27th, 1972. The best remedy is to sit down very tightly and chant Hare Krishna very loudly and hear for a long time until he feels himself one-minded and fixed on Krishna's lotus feet. One more time. The best remedy is to sit down very tightly and chant Hare Krishna very loudly and hear for a long time until he feels himself one-minded and fixed on Krishna's lotus feet. Any thoughts? Yes. Yes. Go ahead, 1, 2.
I was just thinking, what does Śrīla Prabhupāda mean by tightly? Because to me, 2 things came to mind. One is that if we're sitting in a group, we're sitting together, very, very tightly together, taking advantage of one another's association, taking shelter of one another's association. And the other thing is the actual discipline of how we sit, how we hold ourselves while we're chanting Hare Krishna. Both of those could be understood as being sitting very tightly.
And down, like down, going and answering the phone. You know, you sit tightly, you don't move. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Along a similar note, I would say also sitting tightly, like sometimes for me personally, I need to pace in order to stay awake. But I think that I think for me, sitting tightly is more of an internal thing rather than like externally being like this while you're chanting. Because when I'm pacing, sometimes I'm very, like focused and I'm very internal and I'm not allowing my mind to go here and there. It reminds me, my Guru Maharaj he likes for his disciples, he says, like, chant very strong japa. And so, like, I asked one of my godbrothers, what does that mean, like, very strong japa? And this is kind of what he was saying, like, really be fixed and don't, like, waver. Just hold your mind there and loudly chant.
In Italian, it's called feroce japa, ferocious japa.
Ah.
Like Ugrashrava is known to be the Ugra Shrava, the one who has ferocious hearing. So ferocious japa, ferocious hearing, and so forth. And how about the word remedy? Remedy is a really nice word because by taking remedial measures, one can overcome a condition. I'm going to read it one more time because a few devotees came and then we can start chanting. This is Prabhupada's instruction to Mohanananda in February 27, 1972. The best remedy, somebody can look that up really quick, just give me the etymology. The best remedy is to sit down very tightly and chant Hare Krishna very loudly and hear for a long time until he feels himself one-minded and fixed on Krishna's lotus feet. And remedy means, please pass the mic to the research department.
Remedy, a noun, means of counteracting sin or evil of any kind, cure for a vice or temptation.
Root word?
It comes from re, which means here or again, and then medire, to heal.
Yeah, like medicine. So medicinal. Shall we try? Yes. Sit down tightly and chant loudly for a long time. Short discussion for the purpose of perfecting our japa. There's the statement Prabhupada just made about being one-minded, and there is a way of chanting japa where we feel like we're on the outside looking in. I experience it as thinking, like, how much more do I have to go? Or what time is it? I think I got to go somewhere else. And if I'm chanting like that, then I'm not one-minded with the holy name. And then there's another state of chanting where I'm not aware of the time. And if my mind starts to trend towards that, I don't like it. I pull back because I don't want to come out of the zone. And so I notice that if I'm chanting in that zone where I'm not aware of time, then 16 rounds goes by very quickly. And I also think, well, why not 17? Instead of getting to 6 and then thinking, do I have to go all the way to 16? So it's important to get in, keep chanting, but it's also important to be aware of the chanting, because
focus on the sound keeps our attention, keeps us attached. But today we also talk about keeping the mind fixed. We're saying, Prabhupada is saying, at this lotus feet, visualizing things. So I wonder, it is powerful also to visualize, for example, the lotus feet, even if it's artificial. It doesn't come, as yesterday we said, automatically by hearing. It's something that we should practice.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, if things come into your mind, take advantage. But forcing oneself to think of a particular pastime or something like that may be a little bit artificial, but it's not wrong or bad, because it's all Krishna. You can try whatever you wish and see. You know, as I think Vaiśeṣika Leela might have pointed out yesterday, that there may be various things that you can try to stay focused, as the mind's very tricky. Any other reflection? Just from the ideas from today? Yes.
I just had a quick question. Like, when do you know whether you want to stop chanting, like you're that distracted, or do you always want to keep just pushing through and continuing your chanting? Or is there any time where you're just like, I need to try again at a different time because you're that distracted?
Well, it's nice if you can find ways to overcome distracted states and keep chanting. For instance, if you're sitting and you're just going crazy, you might pace, but be careful you're not window shopping. He was like, well, there's a bee. Hey, you just went in the flower. You know, be aware, but do work with your mind that, and try to find ways that you can keep going, because if you're able to keep going, as Prabhupada said here, and chant for a long time, you could have a breakthrough. And breakthroughs are really important, because sometimes you could get to 12, 13, 14, 15 and a half rounds and think like, this is junk japa. And then all of a sudden you feel like, hey, I don't want to stop. And I'm on the last few beads. So try to stay in the game and be inventive, find ways that you can keep focusing and keep going. Yes. 1, 2.
Just a quick comment on that point is that for me, I've noticed that like when I do allow myself to say like, oh, I'm feeling a little tired right now, maybe I should take a break. Well, sometimes you should take a nap, but sometimes it's just the mind telling you that. I think the mind is kind of trained in that way, so it'll start to think like every time you're distracted, okay, I should take a break, okay, I should take a break. But if you push through, then it'll be trained in that way to where it's always ready to push through.
That's true. Training means sticking to a particular regimen.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Your words about getting out of the medicinal phase it reminded me of the jaundice analogy of how chanting, I mean, you know, the condition of jaundice means that something that's sweet will be sour at first, and you know, it feels like medicine, but getting out of that medicinal phase just comes with.
And we have to be consistent enough until we come there. Yes, Prabhupada Priya.
Hare Krishna. I like how you made that point and had us experience how we can actually control our minds, that it's within our power to do so. Because sometimes we blame the environment, or there's some noise, or there's too much movement, or people are chanting too loud, or they're talking in the background. We blame our, everything else for our distracted japa, our inattentive japa. But it's totally within our power to control our minds and focus on the holy names, and we just need to make a conscious decision and actively do it.
Nice point. In the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says that a person and when you're riding a horse, you can't always be pulling the reins or spurring the horse onward. He says sometimes you let the reins out a little bit and sometimes you pull them in. You have to be able to perceive your animal mind, because that's an art of riding. So Krishna uses that example. He said, riding a horse, be very perceptive of where your mind's at. Sometimes you let out just a little bit. Sometimes you can pull back and really keep practicing taming the mind, just like one would tame a horse. There's horse whisperers, and like, come here, little fellow. You have all these techniques to bring it closer and then make friends with the mind. So it's important. If we can do that, then that's the main perfection of yoga, is to learn how to control the mind, and it takes practice. And this is the main practice. So let's chant with this idea that we have the power to move our attention anywhere we wish. So be aware that you have that while you're chanting, and be aware that you're deliberately bringing your attention back to the sound of the holy name, and see how you feel. Sorry to interrupt so soon, but we're almost finished. I just want to try one more experiment. So partner with one person. Pick a partner. So you're face to face. And one person, pick one person to talk to the other person and say, Krishna's gone to Mathura. He's going to kill Kamsa. And the one that's listening, you look at your watch. Even if you don't have one, just look at your watch. And you tell it really slow, and then the other person who's listening, you just look at your watch. Instead of you're looking at him face to face, but go. So you're telling something important, right? And how did it feel with the other person looking at their watch? Now try it the other way. Go the other way. What did you think? How did you feel when you're telling a person something and they looked at their watch? Huh? It what? She said she felt offended. So we hear that it's an offense to be inattentive while chanting. This is very practical. That our attention, the way we give our attention, is actually our love. If we're, do you need me to move, or are you good? Srimad Mahaprabhu ki jai. How we give our love to somebody. So if we're chanting and then we break that attention to the holy name, or let's put it in the positive, as we give our attention to the holy name, that's how we're expressing our appreciation, our gratitude, and our love to Krishna. And you can think of it, if I start thinking about, I think I need to buy a new car, or whatever, during the chanting, and I divert, it's like going like this while Krishna's talking to you. You're right there, and you go like that. And you know how it feels, and you think, oh, they're not really into this, they have to go, they're not interested. So you can work with that and see to what degree you can purposefully express your gratitude to Krishna by paying attention to his holy name. Thanks for joining. Make japa great again. Dear Śrīla Prabhupāda, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Panchatattva, Sri Lalita, Radhika, Tota Gopinath, if you so desire, please empower us to always think of your holy name with love and give our full attention to your service. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone who agrees with this prayer, in whole or in part, please say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.